the album that really made me a fan of Iced Earth, like, you know, where I was like all in, was Something Wicked. But the album I felt that was kind of like a transition a little bit, I thought was the Dark Saga. That's actually the first album I ever bought. I remember hearing about the band, and I looked at a CD store one day and I saw this really cool looking comic book character on the front of it, and I bought it. I had some great songs, but it was like, I don't know what it was, but I felt that album, when I look back on it now, really opened you up to a lot of new fans. And then I think Something Wicked capitalized on that.
Yeah, it truly did. I mean, it was, though the band, you know, had toured Germany before, it was just it was a totally different thing. We actually, it's funny because I think we started writing, John started writing Dark Saga like almost as soon as we got back from like a short tour.
Yeah.
Burnt Offerings. Burnt Offerings didn't go over so well. It wasn't, well, I mean, it's like a cult classic, you know, quote unquote, you know, the hardcore fans, especially like death metal guys or people that like, you know, like darker, you know, I'm not going to say black metal, not necessarily in that area, but they really like that record because it is dark. It's dark tones and dark sound, and just there was like a lot of negative energy with that record because, you know, the band was in a kind of a tough spot with the record label and all that, and I think it came out. And then of course you got Dante's Inferno on the end of it, so it's just kind of dripping in darkness, right? And then even though the title of the record is the Dark Saga had more brightness, you know what I mean? It was more, you could tell that John was in a better spot, re-signed with, you know, did a new deal with the label or whatever.
Yeah.
It was inspired by the character, the Spawn character, and was really looking forward to really try to, you know, push the concept record. And so he was having a good time writing it. I think he was really driven. If anybody that knows John knows that he gets like locked onto something, man, he's all in. You know,
he's a very focused guy from any time that I've ever encountered him.
That's it. So he was really super focused on writing this record and really wanted to write like songs that had hooks, and it worked because like a lot of the songs have super cool hooks, and then the ones that aren't the super hooky ones have the cool, like really cool little breakdown stuff and like the really cool picking stuff, and just, you know, it's just interesting. And then, you know, another side of that is that it was the first record we started working with Jim Morris. They had worked John had worked with Tom Morris before that, and we did together on Burnt Offerings.
Yeah.
And you know, they just have a different approach, and kind of just different guys. They're brothers, but they're just different personalities. And Jim was like, he was really all in on what John had going on, and said, "Yes, I'm with you on this. We're going with that." And we had also brought on Mark Prater, play drums on it, and he just, you know, killed it, man. It was great. You know. Less, I mean, there were some, you know, very fast songs, but like there's like a lot of groove drums in the Dark Saga. So, and also I sort of was kind of in my own space as far as being able to use the sweet spots in my voice, you know, ballady stuff. Was able to get kind of really dark and cool, and Jim appreciated how I approach vocals and really wanted to accentuate that stuff. So we did some cool stuff with like miking and, you know, just getting the kind of cool tones and things like that. So yeah, it was it was like really, even though it is a dark story and dark, you know, the mythology with Spawn is very dark and deep and all that. It was just really a fun record to do. You know what I mean? And I think it shows. I think it really shows that it was just fun, and it definitely changed perceptions. And like, it was crazy, man, because when we went over to Europe in support of the record, like everybody knew all the songs, they knew the lyrics, and, you know, and because there are so many hooks, you know, The Hunter, you know, I Died for You, you know, Question of Heaven, like all the songs that people sing, you know, you can hear it like on
sure.
Alive in Athens, man. I mean, that's what people were doing, you know, they were singing like the songs and doing the parts in between that are not even vocal parts, but they're singing to the stuff. So yeah, it was just cool, man. It was really, really a turning point, I think, certainly for me. And you know, I love Burnt Offerings. I love that it was my first real record, you know, real professional recording. But Dark Saga is, you know, pretty special spot.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned Alive in Athens. It's kind of funny. I was just thinking about this. You recorded it in Greece, and you have a division of a record label has people from Greece that work for it. So I just thought that was interesting. I was just thinking about that a second ago. Most of the Roar guys they're Greek, right?
Correct.
So I think it's pretty cool. And I've always, one of the things that's been interesting over the years online, and even in the early days of the internet, a lot of people from that country are just like, even to this day, are super passionate about not only what you're doing now, but like Iced Earth's music. Like if you look at a lot of the reissues that come out, I think there was a reissue for Dystopia that came out. It's a Greek label that's doing it, and they're doing pretty nice reissues of these albums, actually.
Yep. Yeah. And yes, I think the fan base is there and has been, and I think it's probably multi-generational at this point, because you know we've played shows there with folks that, you know, were at Alive in Athens, and then there's, you know, younger folks there, and you know it's just it is just multi-generational metalheads. It's really pretty amazing. And of course, you know, we were thrilled to you know get on the label on Roar, and now we're on you know, Raining Phoenix, which is, you know, they've combined, the two have combined. So which is one of the reasons why it took the record a little bit. We've actually had the record done, and it was done about a year ago, but
yeah,
we've been sitting on it for a while, just because the deal with the combination of the two labels coming together, and just kind of being fish in a much larger pond. So we just kind of had to wait in line and wait for things to pan out. But yeah, we're really excited. They've been doing a great job for promoting us and promoting this record. So
yeah, I will tell you that I think things are a lot stronger that they combined.
Yeah.
And from my end, because I see the publicity end of it, I think they've done an excellent job with promoting the album. I don't think I've woken up in the morning to check my email, and I don't think I have. I don't think there's been a day where I haven't seen an Ashes of Aries email promoting the album.
That's great. Fantastic.
You know, that's something that's very good. And actually, the guys that work at Roar are really, really nice guys.
Yeah.
I've dealt with quite a few of them. They have an American publicist, obviously, you know, Dustin. I work really well with him. But they really have a nice little promotional machine going on for bands like you. And I think it's probably good that, you know, maybe you had to sit on the album, but I think promoting it now, I think, and when this is all said and done, I think it works out a lot better, because, you know, I can't tell you how many Matt Barlow, you know, headlines pop up every time I go on Facebook, and like these media outlets are popping your name up there. And I can tell you, I never saw that, you know, over the years, not the way that I see it now.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I think, yes. I mean, I definitely think that they've been doing a great job, and they have been, you know, for a while. I'm sure it is better with the collaboration. You know, you get that machine going, and I definitely don't doubt their business savvy. So we weren't. It's just as an artiste, you know, we don't like to be sitting on our music, you know, for a year.
No, I gotcha. I get it. Yeah.
To hear it, you know, it's like when we get it done, it's like, okay, it's done, man. I can't wait for people to hear it. And then it's like, okay, well, we got to put the brakes on a little bit, but you know, it's all good, man. It's all good. We certainly understand, and they've treated us very well for the last 3 records we've been with Roar. Totally trust the folks at Roar, and, you know, and Rain Phoenix as well. It just makes I'm sure it makes all kinds of sense. We're friends with our, you know, with our label boss. You know, Aki is amazing, and you know, we went over. My family went over there and vacation. We hung out in Thessaloniki for, you know, a week, and it was awesome, you know. So it's just really cool.
Yeah, he's a Facebook friend of mine. He's a pretty cool dude. I've interacted with him, not a lot, but a little bit. You know, and with other bands that they've had that I've had on my show, their heart's in the right place. I mean, they really truly love the music. I think that other record labels, and I'm not going to throw any names out there. There are other labels that have not been like that over the years, where they have a group of people that have no idea what they are doing. I talk industry stuff sometimes on my show, my regular podcast, but I think these guys really truly love the music. And when you see people, when I see a band like yours and I see it constantly in my Facebook timeline, and I didn't once search Matt Barlow on, like, you know, any social media outlet, that says a lot to get that, you know, visible to me in, you know, on social media, where it's in my timeline and I'm seeing it.
Yeah. It's huge, man. I mean, it's really, really, really cool.
Hey everybody, Tony here from the Metal Command podcast. Again, I appreciate your support. Since 1998, I have hosted this show in one form or another, starting off in radio and now in the podcast format. Again, thanks for watching. And if you like what you see and hear on this show, by all means, please hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to be notified anytime I do post a video. And if you see this program on any other form of social media, please give me a follow there. Again, I always appreciate your support.